Welcome to the weekly dose of self-care presented by your neighborhood pharmacist. Today, we're going to talk about how to prevent and treat sunburn in just 5 minutes. Sunlight is great for us because it causes our body to naturally produce vitamin D, which will be good for our bone. But the downside of sunlight is that it contains UVA and UVB. UVA is the one that will cause our skin to age and look older and is present throughout the entire day, while UVB is the one that will cause sunburn and is the strongest between 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So one obvious way to protect ourselves is to avoid being outside between 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And when you go outside, try to wear dark colored clothes and long sleeves. The other thing is to apply sunscreen. The first thing that might come into your mind is SPF. But what is SPF? It is basically a measure of protection against UVB. For example, if you don't use sunscreen, you'll get a sunburn in 20 minutes. But if you use a SPF of 30, then you'll only get a sunburn in 600 minutes. It is important to keep in mind that no sunscreen can block out 100% of the UVB rays. For example, an SPF of 15 will block off 94%, SPF of 30 will block out 97%, and then the higher you go, it actually plateaus out to roughly 98% or so. So if you go to a store, they are selling the SPF 30 cheaper than 60, then I will just buy the 30. Not everyone can use sunscreen. If you have a baby less than 6 months, then the only thing you can do is physical protection. This means giving the baby a hat or a blanket to cover away from the sun. But if you're greater than 6 months, then you can use physical protection as well as using sunscreen. There are two different types of ingredients inside a sunscreen. There is a physical blocker as well as chemical blocker. So the physical ones are the ones that are like a shield, so we reflect off UV radiation so it doesn't damage your skin. Some examples are titanium dioxide and zinc oxide. On the other hand, the chemical blockers are the ones that will absorb UV light so there's no damage. The best ingredient to look for is oxybenzone, which will cover UVB as well as some UVA. So the ideal sunscreen should contain both a physical and chemical blocker. In terms of how much sunscreen to apply, you will follow this chart here. But it's very important to keep in mind that the lip is the skin as well, so make sure you use lip balm to protect the skin. Remember to apply sunscreen 30 minutes before exposure, as well as 30 minutes after the exposure to get the maximum effect. Ideally, you should reapply at least every 2 hours if under dry condition. There are also water-resistant products. These are best under wet conditions such as you sweat a lot or you're swimming, then you gotta reapply between 40 to 80 minutes based on the instruction of the bottle. If you're also using insect repellents, make sure you apply the sunscreen first, then 20 minutes later you can do so. The ingredients inside kids' sunscreen is the same as adults, but the advantage of kids' sunscreen is that when it's applied, it might feel different on the skin and it also might smell better. So it's up to you which one you want to buy. If you still got sunburn, here are some tips to manage it. One thing, you can do a cool compress onto the area, as well as drink a lot of water, because when you get sunburned, it means that your skin is very dehydrated and very dry. So drinking water will restore that. The other thing is that you want to moisturize it with petrolatum for keeping the moisture that you regained. If there is pain associated with sunburn, then you can use Aleve, which will help with the pain as well as inflammation, and you take it within 24 hours after exposure. This is because sunburn is considered inflammation, so Aleve will take away some of that. If your sunburn area has open skin and won't heal within 7 days, then you need to go see the doctor. Another reason is when you show signs of aging caused by sunlight. Remember to like and subscribe and turn on notifications. I'll see you next Saturday at 8 p.m. Bye!